Shown on various paranormal TV shows across the U.S., the Old South Pittsburg Hospital is considered by many to be one of the most haunted locations in the southeast of the United States. Let's backtrack a second. It was only a month ago that I was here at this location, the South Pittsburg Hospital. The lady right here, Stacey, the ghost host, invited me and said, "Hey, bring your film crew, I'll give you a tour of the place." With there being a 2-year waiting list to get in this hospital, it seemed like too good of an offer to pass up. So we got our stuff together and came to this hospital not really knowing what to expect. The first thing I noticed when I went in this hospital was a very dark and demonically charged atmosphere, almost heavily filling. We get home after 6 hours of filming. I have no audio. There is nothing but white noise and pinging through the whole 6 hours of filming. So I called my brother and I said, "Hey, did you get any footage on your camera?" He says, "I can't access it. I keep trying to access it. There's nothing on it." I called Chet, who was taking pictures, and he says, "It's weird, Nathan. I have been trying to edit these pictures and I can't edit the pictures." And Chet, actually, after a few hours of being at the hospital, ended up having to go outside. He said felt like he was under attack. He said he felt very drained, almost felt nauseous. So he went outside and waited. Jesse, who filmed with his camera, also said he was hearing voices throughout his film. Ed came with us on the second trip and he filmed with his thermal imaging camera. He filmed for about 3 hours throughout the hospital, and once he got home, he only had 2 files on his card, and it was of him walking out of the hospital. So Stacey let him come back that night and film some more, which is the thermal imaging footage you'll see throughout this video. This place is not for the light of heart, guys. If you come in here, you want to be prayed up. Make sure you got some kind of protection going on. The spirits in this place are very dark and evil. I don't know what exactly has happened here. You know, some people believe it was doctors messing with children here, child abuse, or maybe into satanic rituals. Some believe this was Cherokee land, and there was a battle that the Confederates came in and killed a bunch of Union and Cherokees on this land. So, guys, just beware when you come here. With all that said, I called Stacey and told her what had happened, and she said, "Well, you're welcome to come back at the end of the month." I decided I'm going back. I'm not going to let these whatever this atmosphere, whatever these evil spirits are, defeat me, I'm going back. I'm going to film this episode. So guys, come join Adventures United as we once again brave this dark dimension of the spirit realm.
Something rather special, something that's been on television, especially Paranormal Witness. Anyway, we are here at the Old South Pittsburg Hospital.
I'm gonna go check this out. Seems to be the most haunted place in Tennessee. It's the first possessed animal of the day. It's Gizmo.
Guys, so we're coming up on the cardiopulmonary room. As you can see, it's got a lot of the old equipment still here. It's like an old, what would that be, like a labor chair or something?
That looks like a female chair.
Yeah, a female chair. So, and over here we got the old bed. So, let's keep going down the hallway. Now, Stacey said this part down here, it's known for having shadows. I think she said they called it the shadow hallway or something like that.
It's the nursery.
So guys, yeah, this is what they call the
Nursery.
hallway of shadows. And she says you see a lot of activity down here. So, Jesus. Apparently there's a lot of activity that happens here. Stacey told me there was one time she was here with a group and they asked her to sit in this chair, and all of a sudden the chair started moving on its own and with her in it. And so you can definitely feel a kind of a thick atmosphere here. I don't know, what transpired in this specific spot that, would bring these spirits to this place. But
I'll tell you why.
why is that, Ron?
This is the morgue.
This is the morgue. Yeah, I agree.
They still have the stainless steel tub in here and everything.
Yeah, so apparently this was the morgue area. What was that stainless steel tub for, or what would they do with that, Ryan?
Sometimes they're used for chemical baths, other times they're used for people who need injuries that are iced, but I would think that this hospital wasn't supposed to be a big one. It's just a small town deal, so that's why this room looks like this for the morgue, and they would probably set people in here for, their skin chemical baths or whatever.
Wow.
To prep them.
So we were just like in the room, like right next door, and it looked like a records room. And we seen some looked like X-ray film, and we thought, man, maybe we found some X-rays. It'd be kind of cool. But there was nothing on them, so that was wishful thinking. We come down the next door, and we realize we just found the X-ray room, and there's a huge X-ray machine in here, and there's a whole lot of X-rays here. And these are definitely not wishful thinking. I mean, this is, I don't know if we can get a light behind it. That looked like a skull.
So we just come into a second X-ray room. Ed was just showing us the first one we came to. So it's pretty cool to see all this equipment still here after so many years of being closed down.
According to this X-ray here, my doctorly expertise, it says you're crazy.
Just so you know,
He wasn't here.
Alice Cooper. He's not.
Any ghosts want steaks? Any ghosts at all? How do you want yours, Ed?
I like my medium.
Medium, okay.
Little pink in the middle.
Okay, and we got hot dogs. Hot dogs, any ghosts want hot dogs?
An Alfa Romeo. There's actually an Alfa Romeo sport car parked in the hospital. So that's kind of crazy and unexpected to see in here. So there you go. Hey guys, so this is apparently where they kept the old medical records. And Ryan, you want to come and help me show how this thing works? And then, what is this, where they move back and forth?
Yeah, they're supposed to, but the chains are broken, so.
So use brute strength on this. Oh, you got someone like Ryan with it.
And then you step in.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
quite put in mind a normal chapel you would normally see in a hospital. Definitely feels strange down here.
Definitely feel a presence down here, but it's not the type of presence you'd want to feel in a chapel. There's definitely an overwhelming sense of heaviness, despair, and sadness in this room.
And we're going to make our way upstairs and see what's up there. There's that car behind me. So Ryan, what do you think of this place, man?
I mean, so far it's just a hospital to me.
Yeah. Seems like an old building or
Seems
something.
like an old rundown building that lots of graffiti. Other than the place they called the chapel, you could definitely feel a presence there.
Yeah.
And kind of like we did in the foyer up here by the nurses station when we first come in, you could feel that presence there.
Yeah, so here's where we go. We're going upstairs. And Stacey says this and the basement has the most activity, so whatever. We'll see what happens.
Is there electric up here?
No electricity up here. Now, down here is where Stacey says a lot of crap happens.
In the darkness.
Yeah. Follow me. So right here, guys, right behind me is the nursery. And one of the groups here one night, I don't know what caused it, but they ended up getting in a fight, and the guy slammed the other guy's head into the window, and you can actually see the glass is busted right there behind me. So here's the inside. As you can see behind me, there's a glass, old toys and whatnot.
I'm so scared. I wish I had a ham sandwich to calm my nerves. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Hey guys, so we're here on the 3rd floor, and you can see they put these toys out, I guess, to see if there's going to be any activity or something that spirits might mess with it or something. But anyways, back here on this door to the left is closed. At the beginning when we got here, we heard a door slam. This supposedly has a lot of activity back here. So apparently, Stacey says there's some kind of spirit here that, as weird as it sounds, likes to mess with guys. If you're a guy, it'll come in and try to flirt with you or talk with you or something. But anyways, so this is that room. And I forget what they call her, something like the naughty nurse or something. But anyways, so there you have that. Is that Ed?
Yeah.
This is very jerry-rigged and super Sand Mountain engineered. Basically, it's just a cotton cap GoPro, taking the infrared filter out of it, and then actually using a reptile bulb and a chicken brooder, and then I've got like a battery pack in the back with a like a power inverter powering it.
Wow.
So what happens is this is an infrared bulb. And so this is now able to see infrared light. So actually you can walk around in the dark and you see a little bit of light off of it. But actually when you see it on the infrared, it's actually like a big spot.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm looking at a Ghostbuster right now. Like, that thing is so cool. We're coming into an old recovery room, and you can see these old like sink behind me. And it looks like it leads out to the hallway again.
Different section here.
Surgical. Okay, right behind me we have what looks like where they hook up to oxygen and vacuum, as Ryan was pointing out earlier. So we're ready to go down this way. Now, on the show, I forget which show it was some paranormal show. They came in and it was this chalkboard right behind me that they set a camera at. And anyways, the chalkboard ended up moving by itself. And last time I was here, yeah, it's still there. You can actually see a little kid's handprint on that, 2 of them, where they put baby powder down. So no one under 18 is allowed in the hospital, so that's pretty crazy. Okay, this was actually one of the operating rooms in here, and see a lot of, I guess they got beds in here and some of the equipment. I don't know, what do you think this is, Ryan?
This is probably just a supply closet. Looks like it was something else at one time.
Yeah.
We could probably get a bearing for what it was. Maybe like a staff room, because it's got the window here, and it's also got an x-ray panel on the wall for looking at x-rays.
Yeah.
And it looks like maybe they had a projector in the ceiling up there.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm thinking, yeah, the call buttons and different things like that.
So you think it was more of an operating room or something? Or?
It could have been an operating room as well. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your thoughts of this place?
It's kind of jumpy at first whenever you first walk in, but there's certain places in here that make you feel like somebody's standing behind you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel the same way.
Okay. These handles here for a vacuum system for, what's it, 6 rooms?
What does a vacuum system do?
It's kind of like, you run your vacuum at home, but you can build in a suction to certain rooms. Like in a hospital, you notice they're really clean all the time. They do mop and sweep the floors, but they also have suction systems that pull the dust up off the floor.
Oh.
Hello, seen anything spooky lately?
No, just you.
Because I mean, I felt like I wasn't fearing, but I was I was a little bit worried about my heart rate a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You definitely feel, when you're in there, you definitely feel a vibe.
You cannot avoid it, man.
It's so thick in there.
You can't avoid it. We had to Chet. We walked out. He was having a hard time.
So guys, here's the garden right here. This is in the middle of the hospital. Okay guys, so we're going into the basement now. Down here is where the kitchen and the cafeteria is. But there's something interesting down here that is on the floor up here. And it was actually here before Stacey got the hospital. So we're gonna go find it.
Old dirty pentagram.
This is down in the basement here, this old dirty pentagram. It was actually here before Stacey got the hospital. So it kind of makes you wonder who put it here. Probably, you know, I'm guessing someone broke in and, you know, thought they could do their rituals down here is where it came from. Okay guys, so we're gonna continue to make our way through the basement here. This is like a, I'm guessing an old maintenance shop or something. You can see all the tools, and there's some old filing cabinets there. There's actual names on it, that's crazy. Engineering office, so there you go. Oh man, what a nice office. I might just have to take this one over.
You think you've seen somebody?
I saw something.
What did you see, Ed? So Ed just thought he saw something. Do what?
I thought.
On the infrared camera. So we're kind of following Ed here. See what he sees. Did it look like a figure walking or something?
It looked like a head sticking out.
Okay.
It wasn't there originally, but that may have been just because it's on a little screen.
Yeah.
What it was? Directly to the back.
Right there?
Directly to the back. Right. If you were looking on my screen, it would have been like right in there, and it's like sticking out like that. But not fully sure if I saw anything, but I was looking back and forth and switching, you know, angles and stuff like that, and everybody walked in there. I kind of turned back around and looked, and it kind of looked like a little shadow sticking out. Could have been a shadow, but I don't know exactly what it was. So,
who's hungry? Oh, you gotta. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, guys. So this was the old cafeteria, apparently. So.
Door's hard to open.
Yeah, it is. Just a cool place to check out. If you ever want to come down here, just call Stacey and set up an appointment, and maybe she can work with you. Right now, it's at a 2-year waiting list, right? I think so. Anyway, so maybe she'll be able to get you in before then. But either way, it's a cool place to check out if you're into this stuff. So, guys, so we just heard while I was talking and saying nothing's going on, we heard a door slam, and then it just slammed again. Let's go find this thing. I'm afraid of no spirits. Where did it sound like it was coming from?
Back towards the right-hand side.
sounded like that door bounced.
Okay. Well, we came back to where the noise was.
I totally thought this would have been the
the back door to go back upstairs.
Well, guys, we don't see anything, but that was definitely something slamming.
Just lost the camera.
Whoa, oh my gosh.
It's the devil.
What's going on? I'm gonna leave this here. If you guys ever come to South Pittsburg Hospital, there's your free camera. So, this is who I was talking about, that they claim it was in that room. Someone says it's the naughty nurse ghost, so there she is right there. Hello. Hey guys, where'd everybody go?
And you got Jesus right there.
You ain't kidding. He goes with me everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't leave home with the American Express. You don't leave home without Jesus.
Yep.
And you don't come in here without Jesus either.
Yep.
I don't think you should. My head goes slamming into the wall, but it's like somebody just took a ball bat or something and just hit me square in the forehead, and it messed my vision up. I couldn't see for a while. I had to go be treated. I had a whiplash, and that was my very first night in here. At that point, I was ready to lock the doors and go home.
Hey guys, so we're here with Stacey, the ghost host, and she was kind enough to let us come back at the end of the month. The first time we came, we had all that crazy stuff going on with our audio and the camera SD card not reading and my brother's camera and whatnot. But anyways, so she was kind enough to let us come back. So
anytime.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
You're more than welcome.
So this has got to be pretty a heavy burden or daunting. Is there a faith or something that helps you get through all this?
Yes, and I'll tell you, if I hadn't been following Perry since the 90s and had listened to everything he had on spiritual warfare, I was totally lost. But I did a lot of battling on my knees, but if I didn't have that as my background and some of the things that he himself has seen has manifested here, or people say they have, I couldn't do this job.
Yeah,
I could not do this job.
Yeah, I know we have done a lot of praying before coming here. We, after what happened last time, so, I think we should be good to go today and have that protection.
Yes, and I seriously hope that it all works out today. If not, you're welcome to come back again. I'll just have you key made next time.
You're too kind, Stacey. You really are. And
people
really
need to know this, and I really wish, and I haven't approached Perry about it, but I really wished he would do a series, or at least a couple of services on this about ghost hunting, with these kids. They think it's all fun and games. I don't allow anybody in here under 18 years of age. Once you're 18, you can choose what you want to play with. But I'm not going to be responsible for a child. I just won't.
Yeah.
And they really need to know what it is they're playing with and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Now tomorrow night I have Ghost Hunt 101 coming in here. The guys that are teaching it, they're all Christian. They're all law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So they stay away from all the occult type stuff.
Yeah.
But they tell you, they give you guidelines, what to say, what not to say. They teach you what equipment is out there.
Well, I feel like our main goal is really just to show people, hey, this stuff is real. And
it is real. And
especially if you're on the other side of it and on the dark side of things, you don't want to play with it. These spirits don't play nice. They don't have good in them.
No. So, I just have to tell people, look, you need to be careful playing with this.
Yeah,
I cannot stress that enough.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with running it sometimes.
Yeah, that's understandable. I think it surprises me, I guess, to see people that are closed-minded to this. For generations back and even distant villages in other countries, they all knew about spiritual stuff. But it wasn't until recently that's become, it's like almost like an avenue you can explore. Science has kind of shut it off, but
sometimes I have to think that goes back to the church too, because we talk about being spiritual, we talk about Satan and the devil and all his minions and stuff. But unless you get somebody that like Perry, that's willing to step out of that box and teach you about it and say, look, this stuff is real. This is what I've seen. Mm-hmm. They tell you about it, but a lot of people don't tell you how to fight it. They don't tell you how to deal with it.
Oh yeah.
And then when you do have an experience, they want to push it up under the rug and think you're crazy because they've not experienced it. And that it's a whole new realm. And if we can see an angel, people get their eyes open to seeing angels. Why can't you see the other side? Mm-hmm. Because it's both real. Well, welcome.
So, Stacey, what do you think causes all this? What do you think creates this atmosphere and lets these spirits in this place?
I think probably it's all demonic. That's just my take on it, from what I believe. Other people will definitely give you up the road and down the road for it. So you have to learn to agree to disagree with people about it for sure. But I really think that's probably what it is, and all the blood that's been spilled in the land here, because this was Indian land, it was Civil War land. There was battles fought here. The Trail of Tears walked through here. So, it was plantation land. So who knows?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Now, do you think while the hospital was running, was there anything as far as malpractice or anything that was wrongfully done to the patients? Or
Funny you say that, because there was one of the founding doctors, and his name was Dr. Havron. He was known to do experiments on his patients, and he'd say he was very mean and he was very sinister. And also his wife disappeared, one of his mistresses disappeared, and they never could pin it on him, but there was always that suspicion. And his family still lives here in South Pittsburg.
Wow.
So they don't like to talk about it or have it out or anything, but those are very real stories.
That could have let stuff in too,
Yeah, absolutely.
So what kind of, if you want to tell the camera, what kind of experiences have you had at this hospital? What exactly? I know when we were here, it made us into believers for sure. So
yeah, if you're a skeptic, you won't be when you leave here. I promise you won't be. The spirit realm is very real, and I'm one that whatever you look for, you will find, whether it's good or evil. You're going to find something. And whatever you open yourself up to is you're either going to be good or evil, or it's going to, it can take you over.
Yeah.
Here, some of my experiences have been, just last night, I came in to do some stuff, was in my office back there and have a bathroom in it. My bathroom door was closed, but there was definite knocks on that bathroom door. And I just told it to be quiet and leave me alone. I didn't have time to deal with it, wasn't playing with it. Go away.
Yeah.
And it kept on. So I went over there and smacked the door really hard with the palm of my hand, and it did it right back to me. And I'm like, that's it, I'm done. It's time to go home.
Wow.
So I just shut the door and left on that one.
Yeah.
But this past weekend, I was here, and it told me to go away.
Yeah.
I've been told to get out. I've been growled at. I've actually been scratched.
Good grief.
And the other day, well, they're gone now, but 2 weeks ago, I felt a burning on my arm, and it looked like I had fang marks.
Wow.
I had 2 bruises like snake bite on my arm. And I'm like, this is just getting a little crazy. You know? So,
Wow.
I'm about ready to have something cleansed out of here.
Now, last time we were here, you told us a story about a guy that brought his dog.
Oh, yeah.
What happened with that?
Okay, well, yeah, he was a complete skeptic. He didn't believe in it, and his girlfriend was, quote, unquote, a medium. But about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, they were up on the 3rd floor down where the patient rooms are, in that open area there where the former patient stayed. And he was playing ball with his dog. Well, the dog would run down to the end of the hall and get the ball and bring it back. Well, about after the 3rd or 4th time, something literally reached down and jerked the ball out of the dog's mouth and threw it in a room, and then the door slammed to that room. And the dog comes yelping down the hall. So the man grabs his dog, goes to the parking lot, and sits and waits on her to come out till like 6 o'clock in the morning, and said he would never be back to South Pittsburg, and he sure as hell wasn't coming back to this hospital. That was his exact words.
Wow.
So, there's just all kinds of stuff. I've had groups leave in the middle of the night and sell their equipment, put their equipment up for sale, and they said, look, we're done. And what did you see? Tell me about and they won't talk about it. So I have no idea.
Wow.
Really, or did they conjure something up? Were they in here doing something they shouldn't have been? Did they bring a Ouija board in here? And I'm strictly against those.
Oh, yeah.
And seances, but I don't babysit these people, so who knows what portals they open.
Yeah, definitely.
And they don't. And I've even had people call me and say, okay, this thing followed me home. Now how do I send it back? And I'm like, well, what did you say to get it to go with you? I mean, this stuff can go. Look, we can't see it. They can walk through walls. They can ride in your car and you'll never know it. They'll do things when they get to your house.
Mm-hmm.
So, the spirit world is real. And, I don't know how many dimensions are open. We see in 3.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, well, Stacey, I appreciate you letting us come again.
Oh, you're welcome.
Answering our questions, and so I guess we'll go around the hospital and see what we can find.
And you may find some stuff. You seriously may find some stuff. Oh, and I've got to get that picture for you too to show. Then you can show it, and I'll go see if it's on my phone.
Yeah, she was saying she found
we had a celebrity here this past couple weeks, and his name was Chad Lindbergh. He's played in Fast and Furious. He played in Supernatural, Breaking Bad, Gilmore Girls, Ghost Stalkers. He was on that show. And he said out of all the places he's ever hunted, this was one of the most intense places he's ever been. But he was down in what people call the chapel area, which was basically overflow for medical records when the hospital was open. And he was talking, and there was a whole group of people down there, but in the corner somebody was just randomly snapping pictures. Well, behind him in an empty corner, there was no physical body there, was this thing that's half man, half beast. Reminds me of Belle, because it looks like a bull from halfway up, and it's got human legs and feet halfway down. So I'm waiting on that picture to come in, but that's been seen here twice now, and it's been caught twice on camera. Yeah, and that's kind of scary, because who conjured that up? Who called that up? I don't think that's something that just roams through. You know, that's somebody that's been in here doing something that they definitely should not have been doing.
A more powerful spirit.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
If you're not careful, this place can literally suck you in. It'll be on your mind when you get up, and it's the last thing you think about when you go to bed.
Last time I came, and
I told you about that.
Days,
and you just have to draw a line and like, not today. I'm not working today. I'm taking today off. And when that happens to me, I just say, no, I need some Jesus, and I'll go put in Perry, or I'll go read a book. I'll go get my Bible. I'll do something like that. But you have to maintain control.
Yeah, I know. Last time I came here and I went home, it seemed like for about a week straight, every time I'd close my eyes or go into bed, I would see these hallways of this hospital and stuff. And I finally got Tiffany. I said, "Hey, I need you to pray."
Yeah,
I can't rest my mind. Yeah,
it will. It will absolutely do that. And I tell people that all the time. People that are what I call frequent flyers that come through here. Racking up miles to go nowhere, basically. But I tell them, say, look, you've got to cut yourself loose from them. I've even cut volunteers loose because they wanted to be in the building 24/7.
Wow.
And one of them even wanted to move in, and I'm like, no, this is not good. You can't do that. This is not good for you.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of have to stay on top of it and realize that you have the power to control what comes through here.
And two, when I got home, it was almost like a draining feeling. Do you get that a lot?
I do. I get drained. I get tired.
Yeah.
And I know that when a group of us come in to clean, like for huge events, like the celebrity events and stuff, because we'll mop this whole floor and do whatever. But we can hit the top of those stairs over there where we came in, and we know immediately whether we're staying or whether we're leaving. The atmosphere is just that charged.
That thick. Wow. That's crazy.
So, but I can tell you, that I believe the blood cries out. I believe that all the blood that's in this land, I believe it is crying out.
Yeah, definitely. I could see that with the Cherokee. I know it just seems like anywhere there's Cherokee burial spots or something, there's always activity. Our friend Mr. Williams has a property out by the Ocoee Mountains.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, you know who he is. And has he told you about that story?
No, I haven't really got to sit down and talk to him, but I didn't know. But yeah.
Was doing construction out on his land, and Chief Van used to live there. That used to be his property.
His property.
And his daughter ended up taking it over. His daughter's buried there now. And anyways, he said he's doing construction and near this cave, and turned around, he said, just as clear as you could see, it was a Cherokee Indian standing there. And he said it scared him so bad that he ended up covering back what he had moved the dirt. He moved dirt and put the dirt back in place. And he said he's not going back out there to mess with any of that land anymore. So.
Yeah, well, that could very well be. And I know they walk through here. I know that my dad said we have it, back in the line. It's probably so watered down now it may not even show up. But I know it's back there. So who knows? But it's just crazy how things like that happen. But you also have to remember, this is a hospital. So if you had surgery, how much blood's been spilled on the floors? How much has been splattered on the walls? If they hit a vein or an artery, especially if you hit an artery. Having a baby, it's a very bloody process.
Yeah.
How much blood is actually been on these floors that you think it's all cleaned up, but in actuality and in the spirit world, it's like paint.
Yeah, it's stuck there, yeah.
So
I know my mom, she works at the hospital down in Cleveland, and she said there's a floor that's shut down that's an old ICU unit, and she said there's stuff like that goes, different paranormal stuff that'll happen, and they kind of joke about it at the hospital. But
it's more real now than because people talk about it all the time now. Hollywood's glorified it. And everybody wants to follow it. And, it's just like they'll follow a demon, but they won't follow Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
They're out to chase this because they want answers. Well, get in your Bible, there's your answers.
Exactly, yeah.
But, a lot of the world don't see it this way,
Yeah, it's always been a mystery to me. If they see the dark side of it, but why are they so repulsed by the good side of it, with, like you said, God or Jesus or something. But, yeah, definitely coming to a place like this, I want Jesus with me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what got me was so many people that are in the ministry that are doing this. There's a lot of ministers out there that do this. A lot of preachers, a lot of worship leaders. They're fascinated.
Are they trying to prove the spirit realm?
I don't
or what
know.
Are they going
Some
for?
of them, and a lot of them, tell me the same story. I've seen things since I was a kid. I've never really been afraid of anything, or I had an imaginary friend that only I could see, and I'm like, oh, well, there you go, right there. And I think we've all done it, as kids, and then we just kind of grow up and grow out of it. For the most part, I think we do. Because then, your eyes are closed. But a child, I think they're open.
Oh, yeah.
They're very much open.
Yeah.
And I know my grandson is 5, and he's been in here a few times, when I've had to clean, but he doesn't go past the nurse's station. We won't let him.
Yeah.
And I know one time he was in here, and he was like 3. He's 5 now. And he was, he was just running out by the nurse's station, and he come running to me, and he goes, where'd he go? And I said, where did who go? And he goes, that boy. And I said, it's time for us to go home.
It's time to go home.
It's time to go home. And from that point on, I try my best not to bring him in here.
You haven't heard anything of like something bad happening to the kids?
The only the 2 true stories that I know for sure is one of them, there was a little boy who died over in the clinic area, down past the ER, that long hallway. His mother was a nurse here. She'd worked all night. She'd gone home to get him. He was sick. Well, she was in the room, and she fell asleep, and somebody had given him a balloon. Well, you know how you let the air out of him? Well, it literally went down his throat, and it choked him. And he couldn't get her attention to wake her up, so they found him dead on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And he was little, so that didn't take very long.
Yeah.
The second thing that I do know about is the one little boy, they call him Buddy. I don't know his real name. That's just what he's been named here. But he was picking up what he thought was worms, little worms, and putting them in his pocket. It was actually copperheads. And he was being bit so much, that he died here, but
wow.
They couldn't do anything.
And so that's an actual spirit that tries to hang out.
And it's a boy, little boy. And there again, like I've told you before, when the angels came down and transformed themselves as men, and I always go back to the story of Lot and Abraham, Lot and it is Lot and Abraham, isn't it?
I think so.
Warned them about Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't think God ever took those abilities away from them. So can they change into children? Absolutely.
So you think it's familiar spirits? You don't think it's actually people left behind?
I don't know. But there again, is it a footprint? Is it a residual? Is it something that's just replaying over and over and over again? Because we have a cougher here too. Sounds like, like an emphysema, COPD, one of those, a very heavy smoker's cough, who's just killed their lungs.
Wow.
And I hear it on this back hallway a lot. And he'll just cough 2 or 3 times and it's like, well, hey, I'm here. And
like you saying about the beast man. Now that's a whole different level.
That's a whole different level.
That's something from hell right there.
Yes, and there's also what they call the shadow man here, who's about 7 foot tall. And if you watch the Bigfoot shows, that's what this thing looks like in a shadow. I've seen him twice myself, and I've seen him on the 3rd floor both times. But he walks along the wall, and he has that Bigfoot type monstrous look to him.
Got like hair and stuff.
Yeah, but one stride and he's like across the room. I mean, he can go from wall to wall. And when that tends to be present, you don't want to be here. It's very ominous. It's very dark in here. You've experienced the dark hallways even with the windows open. The doors open and how dark it gets.
Early in the morning, yeah.
Yeah, even with natural sunlight. So, when that is present, it's very dark in here. We see a lot of red eyes in here.
Wow. Okay.
So, I'm like, I'm not staying today. I'm going.
Yeah.
This is not my day. Several times, even when I was having internet put in here, which I don't have anymore, the whole crew, there was 4 of them, wanted a tour of the hospital. I give them a tour of the hospital. I get to the 3rd floor. One of them starts to feel sick. He said, I've got a headache. He said, man, I just feel like something walked straight through me, and the other one's just kind of looking around like, something's watching me and all this stuff. And well, I'm oblivious to it because I just choose not to acknowledge it. I choose not to give it any attention.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to say, let's take the elevator. And I'm like, there's no power to them. And right on time, it goes ding. And I'm like, no, not today. Please, not today. And they said, you lied to us. And I said, I did not lie to you. Follow me back down to the basement, and I'll show you that those elevators are off. Well, in the basement, the breaker is off, and it had a lock and a clamp on it. So that you could not move that breaker. but yet you could hear it sound like it was running. So they about knocked me down trying to get out of the building, and it took me 2 weeks to get another crew in here, and I had to sit out here at the nurse's station while they finished putting it in.
Oh, wow.
Because nobody wanted to come and do it, and they had to get a crew in from Atlanta to do it.
That's crazy.
The people around here would not come back in this building.
Yeah, I kind of grew up at, down at my grandma's. I'd go there sometimes, and there'd be stuff like that would happen, spiritual activity. So, I guess it's one of those things you kind of get adjusted to. It's once you become familiar with it, it doesn't scare you as bad. It's like, okay, spirits are real. This thing's acting up. And especially when, like, you realize you have authority over them, you just get out of here,
Yeah, and I didn't see things growing up as a kid. I was never open to it. I never played with any, ghost stories or anything. It just didn't interest me. But my very first experience was in the Chickamauga battlefield. It was back when I was going to Covenant Life. I was driving from the church through the battlefield. And then, of course, back towards Fort Oglethorpe, well, there was another car coming. And it was just us two. I didn't know the person, but we had to stop from like here to where she's sitting in there, and there was just a whole band of Union soldiers just floated across the road, and I'm like, I did not see this. I did not see this. There's no way.
Yeah.
In my mind, I couldn't reason with it because I knew that was not real. It could not have been real. But there again, was it residual? Is it just replaying itself over again? And I happened to be there at the time
As it did that.
Yeah. And so as the car passed me after that, we're looking at each other going, we didn't see it, no way, and I just took off. I thought, I don't care if I do get a ticket through this park tonight. I'm going home.
I don't blame you, yeah. So now you're booked 2 years up, right?
I'm booked my weekends are booked all the way to the end of the year. When we were on Paranormal Witness, within 48 hours, my 2017 weekends were gone.
Wow. Yeah.
Now my weekdays are actually filling up now.
That's crazy.
So we're going to be just crazy, busy everywhere.
Yeah.
And
well, we know, you got a busy schedule. We appreciate you letting us come. This is as soon as you told me it was okay to come, I thought, I'm not passing this opportunity up.
No, and if you ever want to come back and do a follow-up, that's fine too.
Okay.
And you're welcome to come to any of our events we have and meet some of these people and talk to them. I have no problem with that. Okay. I like it when you guys come and do that. I felt something, I saw something, I opened myself up and said, show me how you died, and that's exactly what happened. It started grabbing her chest, she started having chest pain, she was blue around the mouth. This stuff is real.
So she invited it, she opened it.
She opened herself up to it, so you have to be very careful with your words and what you say around here. But anyway, they did take her to the hospital, they did take her to Memorial, and they kept her for 72 hours.
Okay.
This is where people actually sleep and stay when they come in here.
Wow.
How they sleep here is beyond me.
Guys, just proof that we conquered the hospital. We made it through, and got our Adventures United symbol here, and the team that was here with us.